Hello guys, my name is Gavin and this will be a tutorial on how to use a class to randomize an object's spawn point position. I will be using a bit of Python, so I'm just going to get started. To start off, let's right click on this camera right here and hit X and delete, and right click on this light and hit X and delete. Hit spacebar and then add an empty object like this, add empty, and let's make it a cube. And I'm going to rename this cube as, let's say, spawn points, like this, right here. Next, what we're going to do is go into our second layer and do spacebar and then add a cube. I'm going to rename this as new cube like this. And make sure you remember this, that this cube is now named as new cube. Let's go back into layer 1. Okay. Next, let's right click on this cube right here, our main one that we started off with, and go into game logic view and go from Blender render to Blender game. And down here, what we're going to do is add an always sensor, click these first 3 dots, and let's do 10 right here for the frequency. Add a controller Python like this and connect it like this. Let's now create a new text block by doing text and create a text block. So what we're going to need a little bit of information before we can start working with our class. So let's import the BGE first. So import BGE, and let's define the scene is going to equal bg.logic.get current scene like this. And what we're also going to do is get our spawn point that we created, that empty object, into our script by doing spawn points is going to be equal to scene.objects spawn point. Alright, now that we've got that, what we're going to do is create a class, and this will be class, and then let's do new cube class. That'll be the name of this class. And then below this, let's define the few things that we need to initialize the object. So do define init, and then self x, y, and z. And since we're going to be randomizing the position, that's why we want these 3 variables in here. And they're going to be unique for every object that we create. So the self object will be an individual object. Alright. And what we're going to do is have self.x is going to equal x, self.y is going to equal y, and self.z is going to be equal to z. What we're now going to do is set the position to the spawn point as equal to the x, y, and z coordinates. Let's do spawn point dot position is going to be equal to x, y, z. Okay, now that we've created that, what we are going to do is add the object at the position of the spawn points from our other layer. So if you remember, let me just drag this panel out. This object right here is called new cube, and so what we're going to do is add the new cube object for a time of 100 at the position of the spawn points. Let's do scene is going to be equal to scene.addObject, sorry. And we're going to add the new cube, since that's the name of the object in our second layer, at the spawn point's position. And we're also going to set the time for that to 100. Okay. Now that we have this, we're now going to create an object of the new cube class. So let's have object 1 is going to be equal new cube class. And just to start off, to make sure this is working, I'm going to set 10, 10, 10. So what should happen is that if I hit P, it actually, I think it has an error really quick. Oh no, we didn't add the script right here. Add the script. We should see there's now a new cube added into the game at the spots 10. But our goal is to have it so the position of the object is randomized, and the frequency will add a new cube at a random position every 10 from every 10, whatever the unit of measurement Blender does for this, or unit of time, sorry. So, gosh, I can't grab this now. There we go. What we are going to do is down here, let's define 3 separate random variables. And actually, since we're going to be dealing with random, let's import the random right here. Import random. So what we're going to do is have x position is going to be equal to a random.randint 1, let's say 20. Y position is going to be equal to a random integer as well. And let's have this be 1, 20 as well. And since we don't really want any depth for this object, so z position is just going to equal 0. Okay? And we're going to change these up right here. So instead of spawning that object at 10, 10, 10, we're going to do x position, y position, and then z position. So what should happen now is that if I were to run this this game, I'll actually hit control and scroll out so you can still see it. We should see it's going to start adding a random cube at random points of the map. And as you can see, this is why the class is so important when you're using the BGE, because you can see this is how you can create more dynamic objects. And not only that, but we only did position. You can also do things like scaling as well to increase, so to get more of a dynamic object. So if you wanted to do something like you know, I don't know. I'm not really explaining this for real. If you wanted to add like another thing, like maybe even local scaling, you could change that up as well. But I'm not going to do that for now. Alright guys, so that is how you use a class to randomly position objects in the Blender game engine. I hope you found this useful. I will be using classes in a few different tutorials, but not many, just because I feel like, well, they are important to know, but I haven't found as many uses for them in the BGE. Although many people do. Don't say that that's not a reason for not using them, but I can kind of get by with just using regular functions. So, alright guys, have a good day.